I promise I'll finish my statement. There are some neighborhoods where if there's a lot of vacant property and blighted property, that may be an improvement, I agree. So if there's vacant property that's not being, oh, I can't hear myself think. If there are vacant properties and a lot of vacant properties in a neighborhood, that can bring down property value. But I'm saying in my neighborhood right now, I have a house on every block, the houses are well maintained, it will bring down property values in my neighborhood.
Can I say something, please?
Yes.
Who are you? I'm Karen Page, and I'm a Hyde Park Neighborhood Association member, or whatever. I'm listening to this, and I, you know, it's, you live in neighborhoods. The one thing that I have a problem with understanding is, I think this code is really geared towards blighted parts of the city, and you're definitely not in a blighted part of the city. And as I understand it, and I could be wrong, somebody correct me, it seems like the neighborhoods, because Hyde Park has this option, the neighborhoods can override something, supersede the code. But I'm also thinking, as I think of my neighborhood, I'm trying to think of an empty lot in Hyde Park, and I can't think of one. And so I don't think we're going to have like a, you know, a community garden in Hyde Park because there's no empty lot. And I'm also thinking, at least the neighbors that I know, we all work. We don't have time to have a second business, you know, selling produce or extra produce. And the produce that we make or that we grow, like I have a garden, we just give to our neighbors. I think that this code, and again, the neighborhood has the option, as I understand it, of overriding, you know, and superseding whatever.
The neighborhood superseding.
You know, not
Right, right, they can
A
shut
lot of our neighborhoods don't have homes associations.
Okay, but it could
But
be
your
house
homes
road.
association will have to pay to get a lawyer to go to
that
court
true?
over this.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, okay.
So it's gonna cost the neighborhoods and maybe make the dues go up in neighborhoods so that they can afford to be going to court over these
Okay.
things.
Why
But
don't we
I'm
deal
just
with it
thinking
as a
in my neighborhood, I
community
can't think of
instead of
anybody who would
sticking the state on people?
start a CSA, community garden, just because we all work and we just work and.
And I think just to address the concern of the tents and the signs, typically, just think of this organically as happening. I know that's difficult. And think of the market. If you have a lot of stuff to sell, you are not going to be sitting on your quiet residential street selling the stuff. You're going to take it to a farmer's market where you can get more money, where you've got more people, you've got people who are there because they want to buy. So it's the only way, and we've discussed this for months. In our minds, the people who are going to sell from the home gardens are those that have just a little bit to sell. The community gardens are going to probably sell, they have probably more to sell, but it's going to happen at an organized event like a Saturday afternoon. We know what the CSAs are, so we don't see that you're going to create competing home owner gardens across the street from each other. They're not going to make any money. The people who are going to sell and for the home gardens are selling as a convenience to their neighbors. Their neighbors are going to walk there. They're not going to drive their cars. Nobody's going to go roaming through a
Then why is it the
residential
parking
district.
lot in there?
And signs in the front.
Yeah,
That's just for CSA.
That's for the CSAs.
I
It
think
can be
the
in their
CSAs
backyard.
are big problem.
Kathy and
Just
then
because
Mary.
they include restrictions doesn't mean that somebody is going to or has to do it.
And that's my point. Just because we do this doesn't mean somebody's gonna do that. And it's all left so open. And so the point is, they may decide to do that, they may not. But once you allow it, they can. And Patty, that's one of my biggest problems with the way that this whole thing is being described is, oh, it doesn't really work that way, or oh, nobody's really going to do it. Once you allow it, it's there. Whether they choose to do it or not, doesn't really matter. Somebody ultimately is going to get close to the line and it's going to be a problem.
Then let's
And
deal
then
with it as a
there's nothing
community.
you can do about it.
Yes, deal with it as a community. Talk about it.
Inevitably, you have people who are causing problems. But you can't you can't throw the baby out in the bathwater. You have to think of all the good that comes from an ordinance like this.
But we can do all of that without these changes. I'm confused about your role, I have to tell you.
But we are going to try to address the issues that are here. We are listening. It hasn't worked that way in other cities. Now, and say that those are other cities, that's different, but it just hasn't.
It is different.
So it's not like this is a brand-new experiment that's never been done in America. It has really revitalized neighborhoods in a lot of cities. They put on seminars on this at the National League of Cities. More and more cities are doing it. So we know we've got some issues to address.
Yeah, and John, it's not just about food. What we're interested in is the law that affects everybody. I mean, whether we use it or whether we don't, it is then the law. So it needs to be thoughtful of people who
I
aren't
agree.
gonna be users as well.
And I think
It-
that's, and I
it's-
think that's one of the issues, John, if I can just jump in here, codifying it is an issue.
Yeah.
But I don't wanna address that, I do wanna address the CSAs. Does anybody belong to a CSA?
Is that a co-op, more or less?
Yeah, it's kind of
The new-
like, it's kind of like
newfangled.
that, yeah. 99% of them are outside of Kansas City. Why? Because to run a business, a farm, you have to have a lot of land. So to have a lot of land, you have to get outside. Yeah, you know, I mean, how much, you know, okay, exactly.
That's why you
Okay.
have outside the
Okay.
city.
When you belong to a CSA, two things happen. I either go to the farm and I pick up a bag of food every week. And there'll be times during one day that you can go in and go. I belong to several CSAs, and I don't think I've ever run into any other person when I go to pick mine up. You know, it's just like, you just don't. There's a lot of time, and you just go and you pick it up, you don't stay and chat, you know.
But you could.
You know, there could be a dinosaur living in a cave underneath the limestone Bethany Falls. But I don't think that really is gonna happen. I don't think it really is there. But you can could yourself
This
to
is
death.
more
You could
likely
could
than a
yourself to death.
dinosaur.
You could could yourself to death, okay?
But
You
you
could shoot, could,
belong to several of them
But-
that
but
are in
what
the
I'm-
neighborhood.
several of them.
In
but they're-
neighborhoods?
No.
Where are they?
One is in Raytown,
And else.
one is in
Oh,
Raytown.
Raytown's the town.
Raytown is a town. He actually does CSAs on several different lots in Raytown.